Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. But what happened here?
No, no, no!
White as driftwood salt, the dwarf flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft. Her fierce stance can't hide the trembling of her fingers.
Back! Back! Magister, I'll kill you, just like the rest of them!
She slumps, all bravado draining from her.
No. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone? Those? Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves, dead. And the sorcerers, gone.
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. Oh, Doomer's beard. Lohar. My boss Lohar will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember. Her helping sorcerers. We thought we could help them against the Magisters. No, I don't know.
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass. Terror in her eyes, she stumbles away from you. A scruffy kid bounds up and stands before you, hands on hips. He stares at your face, doubt screwing up his features.
You Ben Mez. Righto, got a message for you. Chap called Baron Laveria wants to see you. Black Bull Tavern, first floor.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, whistling an off-key tune.
Did you hear? The eggs are gone. Gone for good. Nowhere to keep them warm. Nowhere to keep them safe. Not my eggs, our eggs. All the family, all the eggs, every last one. Big Marge, sir. Big Marge will
egg thief! I knew it! I found the culprit! Tell that to Big Marge, if you dare!
Did you expect an eagle?
Yeah. Of course I'm right. Take it with me, kid. Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Milson and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voivod's gross gullets piece by piece.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence and does a double-take. He squints and peers at you closely before shaking his head.
Cool, Aldous. He's a spitting image of that sorcerer fellow, ain't he?
Thought you were someone else for a second there, lad. Someone with no business in Driftwood. But enough of all that. What word do you bring? Word of battle? Word of our Magister brothers and sisters? What can you tell us?
The younger one's face goes pale and his eyes widen. The other remains stiff, as if bracing himself against an unseen wind.
The Void can come.
Hush, Fader. You may pass, traveller. Dare say you'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White Magister. He'll want to know what you've seen. Be quick, mind. He's set to sail any moment.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge, but offers no other instructions.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points right at you. From her other hand dangles handcuffs.
If Aunt Ben Mesder's our live and breathe. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake.
One eye squints, the other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
She considers your offer.
How much? So little. You can sit and think about your stinginess at leisure in a prison cell. Ah, well, that's it.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. I wonder if they'll remember me.
They don't come visiting your tongue. Who will?
On the double. You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man.
The silent monk does not even look at the wares he is loading, but keeps staring at some unseen horizon with no discernible emotion.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath.
The Magister stops barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision. That decision is mine. A good day? Let's tell me. Have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods. We do cruel things unto others and unto ourselves because we must.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. My favourite one. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth, that is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. A would-be magister has to prove his killer instinct, after all. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do. Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I'm in need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders, same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitch-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Let fly like a dove. Seven curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You, the damn recruit. I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it.
Yes, I am very much aware. Wasn't my damn head that hit the floor back there. Now answer me. Did you meet with the Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour was growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man! What happened?
The pox on those beardy devils. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's coast to attribute to bad luck.
Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it that the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him, find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves might have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working on behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
In short, travel west in search of a dwarven base of operations in the treacherous Reaper's Bluffs.
Should any such place exist, it would be very opportune indeed should you stumble across any correspondence between Lohar and Queen Justinia.
Can't grab to you any plainer than that.
The carved figure is a resplendent sight in this ramshackle village. Your touch creates a ripple across the mosaic, as if it were water and not stone. A comforting warmth spreads through you, starting at your fingertips. As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points right at you. From her other hand dangles handcuffs.
If Anne Ben Mez's our living brains. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake.
One eye squints, The other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you. Tricks won't work on me, Ben Mist.
She considers your offer.
How much? So much? You have to be harding something, and I'm sure Dallas will be well able to find out what that something is. Now, come on, back into a cage where you belong. Little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mist.
The Magister grabs the coin and looks around shiftily, then turns back to you.
Get out of here, and don't let me catch you again.
Latest news! Fresh from the war hour! Hear all about it! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is the divine order's going to win the ancient empire and hit it hard. You remember what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left standing when you're treated to death, Frog. 7 saves. Stabbed in the back he was by them vile, no-born, treacherous seekers. Kill them all, I say. Do them like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the divine is dead, gone. Who'll save us now? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword, no sir. Had them all hung. Real slow like. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen?
Yes.
Queen Justinia executes 2 dozen noblemen for insubordination.
East, Marketplace. West, Driftwood Fishworks.
Magister's dropping left and right. Can't say I'm shedding any tears.
Under lock and key.
Pray speak.
Blessings of the divine upon you, good sir. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. We haven't much to offer, but would you care to join us? Wonderful. Come, sit. Oh, it's lovely to meet new people on the road. There you go, all cozy. So tell me, are you heading to Arks like we are? Nicholas and I wouldn't miss Lucian's Day for the world. That's so lovely to hear. The more pilgrims pray for his return, the sooner Lucian will walk among us once more, just like the prophecy says. So come, let us break bread and strengthen ourselves for the journey. We have a sacred duty ahead of us in the holy city of Arks.
You eat, drink, and have a good time of it with Glory and her husband Nicholas. After the meal, you express your thanks and take your leave.
You can't go in there, mister. The Meister isn't home and the Magister's locked her house up for her. They was very angry about it. They said mean things about the Meister and they left a mess, a big one. She's my friend. She was one of the Magisters once. She was very high up. She used to look for God people and help them. But then she stopped that and just stayed in the house all the time. She used to play with me, but then the Magisters took her away, they did. They took her outside the village. I'm not allowed outside the village.
She looks around theatrically to see if there's anyone listening.
When the wind blows from over the stream, I can hear the Meister. I can hear her crying.
She gives you a look of the darkest meaning. Then she takes a deep breath, puts on a happy smile, turns and skips away.
Come now. Is this really necessary?
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there gulping like a mutt at the dinner table. That is certainly your right.
The lizard grimaces, shifting awkwardly as she dangles.
I am in intense pain. You are either insufferably cruel or insufferably stupid. Be quick about it, before the Magister realizes their prize catch is about to slip through the net. Excellent. Now, if you'd be so kind as to gut that startled-looking Magister, it would be much appreciated. I must secure my home before they do any more damage.
Ready. I'll yield to them.
Doesn't it?
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. Apparently I had a claw in murdering their darling divine-in-waiting Alexander.
The Meister wrenches the bandage, pulling the fabric tight against her wound. She winces before tying it off in a neat knot, but you can see the red stain already spreading across the fabric.
Never mind that. That I was here the entire time. Apparently my cunning transcends time, space, and common sense.
Meister Siva freezes, her eyes locked on you, her claws mid-swipe, cutting a new stretch of bandage.
Why on earth should I have thought anything else? Not that I was sorry to hear about his death. I doubt my grin helped matters during the interrogation. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Your tap push the button. Now,
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
Feel free to look about while I catch my breath. Come speak to me when you wish to proceed, and try not to break anything in the meantime.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken?
Meister Siever's stare bores into your soul. It is still, analytical, and ice cold.
Indeed, some people seem to think so. Mostly they're idiots, but in some cases they're mad dogs.
The Meister rests her hand on her arm, where one of her wounds has just reopened. She squeezes hard, ignoring the trickle of blood running down her claw.
I pray you're more idiot than mad dog. It would be a shame to expend all this effort just to see you put down.
The Meister grabs your sleeve and pulls you down until you are inches from her blooded, glittering eyes.
If the void breaks through, it is the end of everything we know. I would kill you, your family, and my own sweet darling grandmama if that's what it took to keep this world safe.
She releases you, sitting back in her chair with a groan of effort.
If granted divinity, you would have the power of all 7 gods at your disposal. You could heal any wound, pull islands from the sea, right any injustice. But make no mistake, the Divine has only one duty: to protect this world from the void. The Divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Once, although not by a god woken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. And putting our faith in you is a risk Rivellon must take. If you need more detailed information about the ritual, see the tome on a plinth by the bookcase. But be quick about it. We do not have much time.
Boring.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudenay oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
Good find.
Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go! Are you simple? Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go!
Opening the door, you see a selection. You explore the remaining ingredients, but you've already taken everything you need.
Nice. Good find.
Are you simple? Perform.
eyes.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Ivan, my wolf! Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell, and see.
Strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Ralik in all his spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your God-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Rannick nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, as a matter of fact. You must realize, Ifan, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs. There you touch upon the very heart of the matter. The void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The void's doom. This world's liberator. It's very simple, really. They will either bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own God-woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Ifan. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. Of course, the ends do justify the means. Life, or the eternal void. If you choose life, you choose the Well of Ascension. I will lead you there when you're ready, when you've become a true master of the Source and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spell.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, Ifan. But if all I had to do was give, you would long since have received. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first, you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Something that will make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is. Immortally so. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits, the souls of the dead made manifest in source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Best of luck, Ben Mezd. Go now, Ifan. Revelon and its masters await.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of sauce. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my sauce. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Your poor taste in drinking partners does not interest me. These are no average cutthroats. They are the kind of creatures that grew bored of pulling the legs off spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Then why, pray tell, are you wasting both my time and your own? Go!
There's one unaffected egg behind them. Perhaps there's still a chance.
mine.
glory is mine.
I'm ready.
I'll agree to none. Glory is mine.
There you are, little egg.
Eggy, Eggy, gone. Baby Eggy gone for good. Help, help, help. Gone. Eggs, Eggy babies, all gone. Marge's egg, Margie, Eggy, Eggy baby, Margie, Marge.
Ah, you, the one who's not a thief, right? Void woken? Our babies? Why, that's unspeakable. All of them.
Why, that's Peeper. Let me get a good look. Yes, I couldn't mistake it. That's Marge's favorite egg. She'll be wanting him back right away.
Eggy, egg to Margie, Marge. Give, bring, do.
Go on, you. Give Marge her little peeper. Oh, I can't wait to see the look on her face. Go on, you. Give Marge...
You again? Are you scouting for eggs? Where are they? Void woken? Monsters? Our babies? All our babies? Peeper? You found Peeper? That's Big Marge's egg. She'll be wanting him back. Yes, wanting him back.
Eggy, egg to Margie, Marge. Give, bring, do.
Go on, you.
Eggy, egg, tomaty mud. What? Eggy, egg, tomaty mud.
Go on, you. Go on, you.
Eggy, egg, tomato.
They'd be daft to come back. But as long as you get yourself in check, boy. I want
The older-looking
Port Elf. What word do you bring?
his face goes.
The void woken.
Hush, Fader. Be quick, mind.
He nods his head. Welcome to Driftwood. The silent monk, like every other,
You stay put. You'll be safe.
Heavens to Bessie, another one. More queer folk than commoners in Driftwood these days. Just look at you. Never saw an ugly mark like that on a pretty face like yours. I bet you ain't the fella that put it there. Anyway, tavern's just down the road. Can't miss it. 'Cause that's where all the queer ones go. Clanking dwarves, dozy lizards. I even saw him drag a void woken down there in the dead of night. Don't know what's going on in that tavern, but it must be a freak show in there.
Come over while you're buying anything.
Hellweather, I need those reports, Captain.
let it be known henceforth to each and every subject here and everywhere that, in the absence of our beloved Alexander, Bishop Divine, slain with malice and injustice by foul sorcerers, as were let fly by the perfidious lizards of the ancient empire, with the aid and abettancy of the treacherous dwarven kingdom, the Divine Order of Lucian is now led by his son's most trusted intimate and advisor, Dallis, Hammer of the Divine, Savior of the Sorcerers, and new Deliverer of the peoples of Rivellon. The Hammer shall take counsel from her most trusted advisors. Hail to the Hammer, 7 times blessed.
Cut off a demon's head, and an archdemon rises from the bloody stump. Typical.
Her rank doesn't matter, nor do her titles. My needle pierces all flesh equally.
I have to stop these disappearances. My career is at stake. What's this? Damn it, Barwell, you're supposed to be stopping intruders. There's still a fugitive on the loose.
It's Belworth, sir. And the fugitive's description doesn't match.
I don't care. Keep on alert until this fiend's head is on a spike. I don't want to end up like the others. Now, you... What do you want? You can't just come in here as you please. There's magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Good to hear someone cares about our missing uniforms. If we don't find the culprit soon, I fear we'll lose another good recruit. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Catching, killing, I don't care. There'll be gold for whoever puts an end to this rat. If you see anything, tell me or my men at once. Otherwise, keep the hell out of our way. Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then. Belson, my inkwell is
Of course,
dry.
sir.
Fetch me some
Right away.
The Magister grumbles under her breath.
Bloody bastard will never get my name right. I've been under his command for almost a year.
I need those reports, damn it.
That's Magister business. Keep your nose out of it. Of course, sir. Right away.
Surrounded by incompetence. Deserve a better post.
It can't be far, can it?
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire! I don't care if you tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You've been warned, Barnes. Now get out of my sight.
The Magister turns, and his eyes fall on you.
You! Have you seen anyone leaving this place? Grey cloak, grey beard, a satchel of books under one arm. You can't have missed him. Lucian's teeth. Where is that runt hiding? If you see anything suspicious, anything at all, report it immediately. Do you understand? He's a sorcerer dressed as a tinkerer. Our brothers started vanishing as soon as the tramp arrived in town. He fled into this stinking shed, but we'll find him again. We'll have our justice.
The Magister's eyes flick to a nearby pile of fish, and he moves off to investigate.
If any of you see so much as a rat's hair out of place, you tell the Magisters. Then we can get them out and get back to work.
The stink of beer almost covers up the stink of fish.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want? Nah, nice quiet spot for a dwarf to get some shut-eye. Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want. Unless you collect cobwebs, I guess. Wine all you want. I'm staying and you're leaving, and that's that.
Before you can ask more, the dwarf holds up her hands and closes her eyes. She's done talking.
You best get.
She rolls her eyes before closing.
It won't budge.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. She calmly opens her left eye.
What do you want? Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want. Unless you collect cobwebs, I guess. Wine all you...
Before you can ask...
Glory is mine.
I'm ready.
won't budge. It won't budge.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours.
I've spotted something.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands. You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. By our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Oh, you got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands. You think a crowbar think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
You think a crowbar would open this thing? Huh? You got rocks knocking round that noggin of yours. We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to budge by our own hands.
Nice.
Watch it.
Thinking there's no one
Those are
left
source
there,
hounds.
then. What is it, boy? He smells
What is it,
salt.
boy?
Halt! The hound smells sauce on you. Plenty of it, by the sound. Haven't got a collar for you. Damn it. I'm sorry, but I can't let you leave. Hounds, at the ready. Look, I don't want to do this, but I've got orders.
I'll yield to none.
I'll yield to none. as a lone wolf. But did I ever tell you of my past in the Divine Order? Bears ahead. Honey bears, looks like.
The honey. Bog off. It's the best honey ever. Makes a bear feel good. So bog off. Out.
You want some honey? Yeah, come on. Bees are dead. Bees are dead. Bees. Oh, bees dead. Good thing too, 'cause, honey.
The spirit of a young man stands before you. From his aura, you can tell that he was a sorcerer. You are a sorcerer fleeing the Magisters in Driftwood. Hungry, you come upon a pair of honey bears. The bears do not attack, so you try to steal their honey, and ouch! You were stung to death by bees. Huge, hideous, void-woken bees. Stinging pain consumes you as the bees attack you, and the honey bears too. The bears survive, but are tainted. You die in agony. The bees die as bees must do after unleashing their stings. The honey bears eat the bees. A haughty-looking undead woman, unmasked, surveys the ground around her, seeking something. Suddenly, her head swivels, and she trains an imperious gaze upon you.
What side do you take?
Her voice is clipped and detached, with metallic overtones. It even seems to echo, as if she's speaking to you from very far away. She cocks her skull to one side with a nightmarish creak. Though her shiny visage is completely devoid of emotion, you sense confusion in her manner. Confusion and more than a little scorn.
Quick now, quickly. Do you support Divine Order or Black Ring? So long as you do not pledge allegiance to the ring, we can talk. Perhaps even trade. I have books, though I hate to part with them. And you, hopefully, you have something I want. Eithne was my name.
She slaps her face violently as she corrects herself, dislocating her loose jawbone and powdering the earth beneath her feet with bone dust.
I was a librarian in arts for the glory of the Order. The ring came, burnt my library to the ground. My books, they are all I have, all I had. I had to save them. The flames, there was no making it out alive. But as the fire caught my magical scrolls, they all turned to a rain of glittering ash. I awoke covered in it. And here I stand. That would be prudent if I wanted to stay alive. Or whatever it is that I am now. Survival is not something that interests me any longer. Not in this form.
Suddenly, she leans towards you with an unnerving creak.
Enough about that. I'm traveling as I look for a particular book. A tome to teach me how to make corpses explode. Would you have anything like that I could learn from? Money. Plenty of it. That's what the living care about, yes?
She scuffs one boot in the ashen dust at her feet and gazes off to the far horizon.
For my collection? It does, doesn't it? Have a look. Mind you don't tear any pages now. You know what I'm looking for. Come back to me if you find it. Do you have it? Do you have the prize?
Hello, miss.
Good day to you.
I'm a wabbit. Nothing much. Gambling, munching. Generally been a wabbit. That's what I said. Wabbit.
Magisters.
Your powers of observation astonish me.
Best you leave the building, stranger. We have sorcerer trouble. We're trying to talk her down without a fight. It's not going well. God's damn sorcerers. A sorceress, as it happens. A master of portals, and a lizard too. She seems unable to escape, thank the divine. But we can't get close enough to bring her down. We chased her clear across the country, and she's left devastation in her wake. We expect a Voidwoken attack here too, at any moment. That, or worse. Well, it's your funeral. Try not to let her use sorcery on you. I'd like to avoid having Voidwoken show up. And do watch out for the lava. That's instant death. Look out! Lava!
What?
smells like blood and death. I wonder what I've stumbled upon.
Evil lurks here. I can feel it in the very tip of my tail.
Careful. I spotted a trap. Slithering little worms.
The eyes of the dwarves look strange, but you can't quite make them out from this distance. Indeed, the dwarves' whole faces are strange. They seem tense, contorted, and barely aware you're there. But there's no doubt that the voice is addressing you.
Come no further! That's still you.
I'll yield to them.
Only beta trolls hide under. Back off, pigeon! This is my bridge, and I don't suffer fools on it.
The enormous, unusually red troll looms over you with his fists clenched threateningly. His expression is stern, yet you can see the tiniest twinkle in his intelligent eyes.
Didn't hear me the first time, parrot?
He smiles a jagged and magnanimous grin. Each pitchfork-pointed tooth seems to threaten you individually.
We'll see. You want to cross my bridge?
He rubs his leathery hands together with glee.
Sure. One regular priced bridge crossing coming right up. And I don't want to hear any whiny little baby noises about it either. I think not. Pay up, cuckoo!
His eyes narrow to glinting slits, and a deep laugh shakes his whole frame.
There is one thing. The competition. Take out my competition, and I could waive the usual fee. A little magpie feather named Mog. He's not fit to be a bridge keeper. He took over the other bridge across, and he's too cheap. I can't compete with his ridiculous prices. That's a little non-committal, but I'll take what I can get around here.
Grog drags a rough map in the dust of the bridge with one claw. He then spends an inordinate amount of time sketching a highly vulgar doodle of this Marge he wants you to take care of.
There. Now, for the moment, you'll need to back off. No pay, no stay.
Seems someone's been digging rather hastily. Something isn't right here.